This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after this show.
Don't drink the faucet.
We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a f***ing car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter.
Yeah,
I want.
Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on.
He likes it.
It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorce dad, single dad, divorce dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
That's right. That's right. It's showtime. How the hell is everybody? It's Wednesday, December 7th. December. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm back in the saddle. The week goes by like that. I don't know where the hell it went, but it went. Lots of plates spinning as we get closer to the holidays. I hope everybody's doing well. I really do. The temperature here, I don't know where you're at, but the temperature in California right now, it's kind of chilly. It was chilly last night. I'm talking 45 degrees for, it was chilly. It was chilly. Now, I'm sure it's a lot colder and people are shoveling snow in some other parts, but that's where you live and that's what you do. But over here, just so you know, it was kind of chilly last night. It's going to be chilly tonight too. December is upon us. But here's the good news. We got a great show for you tonight. She's been on this show several years ago. But now, let's see who we got chiming in here. Who's our first? Hey, Pete. Hey, Paul. Wow. How's it going? All right, sorry, I get sidetracked. A few comments coming in. She was on the show a couple of years ago, maybe closer to 3, but she was on the phone talking to us. And boy, have times changed. Now she's going to be here in the flesh, helping me out as we do another series of getting through the holidays. That's right. On this show tonight, I'm going to have Laurie McDermott, Laurie the wife expert. She's going to tell you how to keep your marriage together. She can tell you, how to handle midlife crises. Is that crises? Midlife? Yeah, it's plural, right? Unless you're just, providing you're having more than one. Schaefer is the one beer to have when you're having more than one. And I don't know where that just came from. All right. Sorry. The one beer to have when you're having more than one, just like your midlife crisis, which I don't even know what the hell a midlife crisis is. I mean, we're going to talk to her about it because I don't think I've had one. I've just had, shit go awry, but it's all good. But anyway, I'm sorry. It's been one of those days. I think I don't remember whether I took 1 or 2. So we'll find out as the show progresses. But she's going to be on in a few minutes, and she's a hoot. So, but we're going to have her in the flesh, kind of, this time on camera. So good for you guys. So you're going to want to hang out for that in a few minutes. But first, I just want to touch base on a couple of things. Today's December 7th, for those of you who are not aware of the date. And for those of you not aware, it's Pearl Harbor Day. And if you're not aware of what Pearl Harbor Day was, that was 80 years ago when the Japanese decided to surprise attack the United States Pearl Harbor base in Hawaii. And it was a pretty rough day. In fact, it was one of the roughest days to history because we didn't see it coming. It was just one of those things which started war. Another one of those things. But that was back in the day when we had balls. Step on us, we take no shit. Now we're just getting stepped on. But that's a whole nother thing. But I just want you to be aware that it shaped this country and it changed this country, and a lot of people lost their lives serving this country. So just give it a little thought for a second once in a while, or at least learn about it if you don't know about it. And for those who do, just give thanks to those who've given. Just a little PSA right here from the Peter G Show, because I can. Sorry, medication's kicking in. Woo! All right, so also I want to remind you, for those that watch, I thank you, but don't forget the podcast. If you don't watch the show, which you can catch it on demand if you miss it live, but if you don't watch the show because you don't have time and you're in the car, a lot of people love podcasts, you can take the Peter G Show on the road with you, put an earbud in your ear, listen to it in your car or while you're at work, because you know when you're at work, you're bored and you want to listen to some good stuff. And I highly recommend just Google Peter G Show podcast and pick whichever platform you prefer, from the Apple Podcast to the Spotify's to Amazon, whatever. We're on 21 different podcast audio only platforms. I love the visual. Sometimes there's a few things you might miss if you don't watch, but then again, it's the next best thing to be in there. But if you are watching, please do me a favor. Go over to YouTube and just hit the subscribe button. It's free. I got to show those pricks that, we mean business. They are throttling me down. I know they're holding me back, but we're not stopping. So the more you participate, just say, hey, we care. Because I do care. The more you say we care and just show, because, I don't even believe that they're letting some of the subscriptions come through. But just keep doing it and say, hey, Peter, I subscribed. Do that for me. For the holidays. It's the holidays, for God's sake. I would appreciate it. I'm a stickler on principle, and they're messing with my principles. And that's a fact. And I love you anyway, but if you could do that, that'd be awesome. All right, listen. So here's what's going to happen. Coming up in just a few short minutes, we are going to have Laurie, the wife expert, right on the show. But first, I got to pay some bills. So bear with me. Check this out, and we'll be back in just a few minutes, all right?
Let us help you with the high price of fuel. Hello, I'm Ty Thompson at CleanStarProducts.com. We can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Here's how. Our program works the same with gasoline and diesel engines. Whether you're using a car pack or SUV pack, the instructions are the same. Add 1 bottle to your engine oil, and each time you change your oil, add 1 bottle to the fuel tank each and every fuel fill-up. It's that easy. You get 10% fuel economy on average, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. DX1 sells for $2 an ounce, so for just a few dollars a fuel tank, you can optimize your engine, saving you money and gas. Come on, give it a try. It's the finest green grade oil in the world from a California environmental company. You're going to feel it when you drive. Order online today. We'll get it out right away. CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right, folks. CleanStarProducts.com, the DX1 driver. Listen, let's face it. Cars are expensive. Gas, through the roof. It's stupid expensive. Why would you not want to take care of your car, let it last longer, get the best fuel economy you can possibly get? All you got to do is put this little bottle in your normal size car. This little bitty thing goes in your crankcase right here. Look at it. It's the size of my hand. Smaller. Either the bottle's smaller or my hands are big. Which one is it? And you know what they say about big hands. Go get you a bottle. Put it in your fuel. Cleans the system. Put it in the crankcase. Every clean oil change. And that's all you got to do. It's that simple. Listen, it's scientifically proven, and it's California emissions also proven. And if you pass anything in California, you know what a pain in the ass it is in California. It's got to be good all over the country. So go out and get you some. Go to CleanStarProducts.com. Tell them the Peter G Show sent you. And if you want to know more about it, just go to their website. And if you want to talk to them, say, hey, I want to know more. They'll talk to you. Okay? They're actually that good. But CleanStar, DX1 driver, it's a no-brainer, I think. Save yourself some money. Take care of your car like you take care of your body. If you want to take care of your body, if you want to live, and your car. And that's what I got to say about that. Coming up right now. Sorry, I just took another one. I'm feeling kind of woozy. Got it from my friend Paul. He was feeling kind of woozy yesterday. Maybe it's catching. As promised, folks. Part of my getting through the holidays series right here, right now. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, and this time on the screen, on the big screen, right here with me to entertain you and educate you and help you, and the jokes are free. Miss Laurie McDermott, telling you, maybe I took 3. The wife expert, right here. Hey.
You're funny.
I told you, like I said, I don't know. I was in a hurry and I took my medication and I don't remember if I took it twice or 3 times, something like that.
You're right. It's cold in LA too. Maybe you need more medicine.
It is.
I got my woolies on today. I didn't mean to, but I just.
Well, I was out late last night and luckily I did have a flannel shirt with me too, but I put it on and then I put my coat on too because it was a little bit nippy. So
yeah, you're looking good.
Yeah, well, thank you. But today's a whole new day, and I have you, Laurie McDermott, the wife expert, on this show right now, and it's been a while since we've talked, and I'm glad that you had the time to give us, and I want to see what you've been doing, how you've been doing, and where you've been doing it. So why don't you tell everybody real quick, give everybody a brief synopsis of who you are, what you do, and why you do it, and then I'll go into the Q&A. How's that?
Yeah, I'm in. All right, who I am. My name is Laurie. My last name is McDermott. I am known as the wife expert. What that means is that if you are married or you want to get married or you want to be a wife or you're dating and you're hoping to get a wife, I can help you. I guide people. I'm a coach. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychoanalyst. I'm a coach. I help you get what you want. Like if you wanted to play baseball, I would be a baseball coach, but I don't do that. I don't do sports. I just do relationships, and my forte is women, wives, and I take care of wives. So I help wives stay married to their husband when they want to leave. And I help wives stay in a marriage when the husband wants to leave. So it's all psychology. And I don't want to say it's a game, but in life, years ago when I was getting married, my mom told me, we were having a chat. And I said, I'm about to get married. I'm never going to play games again. And she said, oh, honey, this is when they start. And I took that and I ran with it. And it wasn't until years and years later that a few things went wrong. And I was like, oh no, how do I deal with this? So I learned a lot. I studied other people who have been married and divorced and who are all over the age of 65. They know stuff. Old people know things. Talk to old people and get information from them. That's what I did. And I got a lot of information about marriage. And that led me to where I am today. I coach people all over the world.
You know, I'm going to play devil's advocate with you tonight because
I know you're the divorced man. Let's go. Bring it on.
Well, it's not even about being, I'm not the bitter divorced man, but I mean, it's just practicalities. You know, there's times when you're saying you teach people how to keep their marriage, how to keep their man, even when he's cheated or this and that. And I get it. I mean, because sometimes things just go awry and people have to rethink things. And I totally get it. However, you know, it takes 2 to get married and only 1 to get divorced, you know, and
only 1 to save the marriage.
Okay, so why don't you give me an example? Because I really want to hear one of your examples, and then I'll go from there.
So an example, someone is married. Their husband says, listen, you've been married 20 years. You're great. But Susie at work, she's just amazing. I've never felt like this to a woman before. I've never been in love before. And the wife is like, you were in love with me. She doesn't say that. But he thinks life is going to be greener grass over there. And so he leaves his family to go chase over there. And when he gets over there, he realizes that that grass has brown roots as well. And by the time he's finished figuring out that this really isn't what he wants, the wife over here has gone, imploded, his kids won't talk to him. I'm just giving you one example. So, and I can help rearrange that whole situation. I can help the wife before that happens. I can help the husband before that happens. It just depends when they call me.
Are you telling me, I mean, so you're telling me the wife will come running to you and going, look, he's wanting a divorce and I don't want it? Is that what's going on?
100%.
Hmm.
Get calls all day long.
I don't even know where to begin because I've had a lot. I mean, let's take the holidays for instance. Do you think how long have you been doing this for?
9 years.
Okay. Do you think that a lot of people, because during COVID, I was being told by a lot of attorneys, family law attorneys, that normally people will wait till the holidays are over to do this because of the kids or this and that. And when COVID hit, they didn't give a shit because everybody was all cooped up and it made a tough situation tougher. And they were busier than hell, even through Novembers, Decembers, and all that kind of stuff. When do you think you get the most calls?
It's a good question. I can't keep track of it. I get calls all the time. You think there'll be like a few days where I'm like, wow, because I do have a lot of people that call me regularly, but suddenly it'll be quiet. And all of a sudden there'll be one day, and sometimes it happens on full moons. Like it's a full moon. Today was very busy. So it's weird, but it's just life. I mean, life is hard. And, if you're already having trouble with someone you live with, like COVID, yeah. Oh my God, I was so busy. COVID, you will fight with any person that you're not even married to. If you live with someone long enough, you're not going to like everything about them. Humans are weird.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, but you were talking about the grass not being greener on the other side, and that's a fact. I mean, we all know that. I mean, most people, look, I think the best it ever is, and I just had this discussion with somebody else too, and a female, and the best there ever is when you're dating, everything. Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Although today I would not want to be dating because they pick up their phone right in the middle of dinner and then they start texting. How do you know they're not texting the girl over there or someone they met at the bathroom or someone they saw last week? That would drive me crazy. I'm so glad I don't have to do that.
Well, I don't know. We're gonna have to take that chance. But the thing is, all I know is it's as hot and heavy as it's ever gonna get when you're dating, and then you start finding out more about somebody else, and I mean, and there's times when again, I've did it myself. It's like when you see so much good in a person, but there's that one little loose screw, or how do you want to say it? A little bit of mental health issues that it's not intentional, but there's some instability that requires sometimes medications and things like that, and it's enough to like take everything and throw it right out the window. So how do you survive it?
You accept what you've been given. Can I say the word SHIT?
Wait a minute. You mean shit?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So
yes, you can.
I'm like, this is not cable. I don't know what this is. No, this is podcast world. I don't know about that word. Everybody has it. We all have shift in our backyard. We all have it. I have it. You have it. And you don't really see someone's shift until you've spent time with them. And then when you see their shift, you're like, I don't know if that shift's any good. I probably could find someone better. I like everything in the front side, but that stuff in the background, that's yucky. And then you keep moving on and everyone has it. You just have to decide, I like the good things about this person and I see the shift and I don't like it, but I can deal with it. And when you find that person that you can deal with the shift, you go, okay, this is a good person because everyone's got that stuff back there.
Okay. But I think there's two different levels of putting up with somebody's shit. That's okay. You can say it. I mean, because it's the truth, and it's not. It's a very common word nowadays. I think it really kind of gets
it's an adjective.
Well, yeah, it is. I think it's colorful and it gets the point across. But just like a lot of other swear words. Some people think it's ignorant. I think it's just its expression. But I don't make a happy habit of it. But the thing is, there's people that like, okay, there's a little bit of this, there's a little bit of that. But there's some people that there's a way left field going on. I don't want to say, let's say like bipolar or something like that. I mean, some things are just not salvageable. And some things, people are just plain stupid. And I can see where you could hone somebody in and just say, listen, you got to, you need to step back and remember why tell me all the good stuff versus the bad, and it's like, is that really bothering you? I get that. But don't you have some extreme cases that you just, no matter what you did, you can't?
Oh, coaching people?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some people that I can't. Some people aren't coachable. And you find that out really quickly. And those people, you can't help them.
Why? Give me an example. Like, they came to you. So what, is it their problem or the spouse's problem?
No, oh no. When people come to me, what we fix is them. It's all
Really?
your perception. The glass is half full, the glass is half empty. He's never coming home. I'm never going to fix this. It's always going to be terrible. You can't help that person. They have to help themselves. You can guide them to water, but they're the ones who have to make that change, because nothing is going to make them happy. I have women who I've been dealing with for a long time who can't accept some things that happen, and that's a problem. This is your world. Accept it. And from here, we can take you over here. But a lot of people can't do that. There's a lot of people with a lot of issues. And when my husband left for 2 years, I did date a little bit. And within 5 minutes of going on a date with somebody, I knew exactly why his ex-wife divorced him. You can see it plain as day.
Okay. This is where it gets. I would not be here on this show doing what I do had it not been for the experience that I unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to put it, encountered. So let's talk about Laurie and her life and how it led you to be here. You're married, correct?
Yes, I'm married.
Okay. How long have you been married?
24 years now.
Kids?
Yeah, I have 3, 4 if you count him.
Wait a minute.
Thank you. Cut on, yeah.
Okay, so you have 3 kids. How old?
23, 18, and about to be 17.
Okay, so they're pretty much older teenagers and an adult and kind of mid adulthood and all that. So, but did I just catch that you were separated or divorced and remarried to the same person again? How'd that work?
No, so at about year 16, he left for someone he worked with, and he wanted to get divorced. And I said, what? It didn't make any sense. So I didn't run to the divorce court. I didn't say, screw you. I didn't implode anything. I took it really slow. And I tried to understand what just happened. Like, how did we even get here? Like, we were like the it couple. Everyone's like, how are you guys so cute together? How is everything so wonderful? And then all of a sudden this shift happened and it didn't make any sense. So I did a lot of research and I just stayed quiet until I understood what was happening.
Did you feel this coming? I mean, was there tension before
No.
that? Really?
Mm-hmm. No.
You thought.
So let's go back. So I didn't, nothing, I wasn't doing anything different, but I did, there was a couple deaths in his family and things were a little hard with his job. So I felt maybe a little bit of him sinking into a depression, and I could feel that. And, instead of being compassionate and understanding, I'd be like, come on, snap out of it. We're going to a party. Let's go. And I didn't really empathize with him that I should have, that I realized later.
So you're saying your misunderstanding and lack of empathy drove him to go get laid with somebody else.
Correct. It was all my fault. How about that? No, it was his fault. He did the cheating part, but he couldn't connect to me. He was so lost in what was happening to him in his world, and he didn't have the tools to figure it out, to come to me. And I didn't know, because there's no book on how to stay married when something goes wrong. I'll
So
write it.
so he laid like he opened up with some other woman who kind of listened, and then all of a sudden the emotions came together, and then all of a sudden they just locked eyes and started.
Ta-da! Yeah. Off he
Uh-huh.
went. It makes sense, right? I mean, who doesn't want that? New love, exciting. I mean, it's
The,
exciting to have an affair.
Sure. So okay, so wait a minute. I know you said you got a 23-year-old, but I mean, how long were you together before you had children?
Before we got married, a
Yeah.
long time. Yeah, I've
Okay.
known him since I was 23.
How long you been married?
24 years.
Okay, so but you dated before that for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, and you were understanding enough to say, I'm not going to throw this down the tubes, and I'm going to try to see through this. And
Yeah.
yeah,
It's the words are seek first to understand. And in the beginning, I didn't understand. And if you don't understand what's happening, don't get divorced yet. Figure out what happened first. Learn the lesson while you're in it. And then if the lesson is addiction or, alcohol or abuse, get out. If it's not, people come to me and tell me, oh, my wife doesn't understand me. I'm going to get divorced. Huh? Well, why does your wife not understand me? Oh, we never talk. Well, why don't you talk? Well, I never see her. Why don't you see her? Because I really don't like her. Why don't you like her? I don't know. We just don't spend time together. And you want to get divorced? Like that seems like an easy fix. Well, I just don't like her anymore. Well, people don't like each other because they stop spending time with each other. It's like a bank, right? You put money into a bank because you want to invest there and make more money back. People don't realize if you want a relationship with someone, you have to invest time and energy and effort into that person to get it back. And if you don't, you get nothing.
not for nothing, but banks don't pay very well. I'm
True.
just-
Bad example.
I'm just
Maybe a
saying,
very high paying bank.
you might want to rethink that analogy a little bit.
I just made it up.
Yeah, I know. Well, okay, just a little FYI, because I'm thinking about going. I don't even know why we're because I ran out of pillowcases to put my money, but other than that, they just kind of keeping it, and I don't even know if it's a safe place anymore. But anyway, okay,
True.
so you're telling me that you sat there and said, you know what, I forgive you because of what you told me. Now, a lot of people go and they find out that one of their spouse, whether it be male or female, is cheating, and they're going, he cheated on me. I don't care what the reason is. He broke that bond, and that's it. They're done. It's like, I don't care what your problem was or what your reason was. You should have never cheated on me. But I mean, how do you put that back together again?
Those people don't call me. Those people don't call me.
All right.
I don't. But if people feel that way, they leave and the marriage implodes and the family implodes and everyone just goes their separate ways. And those
Right.
people end up walking the earth looking for new partners. And okay, I can't. That's what happens.
Hmm.
I don't help those people. They don't call me. It's the people who call me that say, wait a minute, I got to fix this. And I don't know how. I don't know how to fix this. I want to, but I don't know how. Those are the people I talk to. Because there's lots of things you can do. Because people are stupid. We all make choices that might not be the right ones. And, cheating is cheating, but people lie and do other things over here. So it's kind of, I don't want to say it's in the same vein, but if you're dishonest about something, is that forgivable? Maybe, maybe not.
Look, you'd have to be very, very open-minded and understanding of a person. I mean, because I would just think that your average person's going to go, besides them freaking out, and then it escalates into a fight. You cheated on me. But again, male and female. I think they're pretty equal. I've seen just as many women step out and leave the kids on the man as it's just not as widely reported. But
Yeah,
it goes both.
true.
It goes both ways.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
So you have to have the open-minded person, which I think I don't know. You tell me, but I would think there's a lot fewer of those people. But the ones that do choose to call, then they have to hope they find somebody like you and are willing to invest to help themselves, because a lot of people will just self-medicate or drink or and right or wrong.
No, that you're right. They do that. People are. This has never been a more higher time that we self-medicate.
Mm.
A lot of people do it, even if it's to be happy, just to, when life is, everything's fine. You have a husband, everything's fine. And you're like, I'm sad. Well, go get drugs. There's drugs to make you feel happy. It's just that the world is a very hard place.
I know people, I mean, it's just, wine every night, a bottle of wine every night. And it's, no harm, no foul. But I mean, it's like, it gets to be a habit, and taking the edge off and hoping everything will fix itself or just fade away or whatever. But it's kind of just a cover up, and it really doesn't fix a thing. But
No, but if you are married to somebody who likes to drink like that, and you're thinking about leaving, if that person is still functioning, it's a choice. We make choices. Like if I was married to somebody who was drinking all the time, and I wasn't, they couldn't pay the bills or work or do their, just be a participant in the family, that's reason to leave. Even if there's like abuse, that's reason to leave. But if someone likes to have a glass of wine or 2 or 3 every night while they're watching TV, hanging out at home, who cares? If they want to like get high every night, who cares? If it screws up your day job and you start losing money and your kids hate you, that's a problem. But it's not my problem. My job is to be the best person I can possibly be. If I'm married to someone who's not living up to his duties, that is on him. We all have to take responsibility for our own self. And that's what I teach. And if you're not the best person that you can be, change it. But you can't control other people. People aren't going to change. A lot of women will get married. Like, the joke. People get married and the men never want the woman to change and the woman wants him to change. That just doesn't happen. People don't change.
if that's still going on, then it's in their head, and they got a big surprise coming for them. I mean, because I do think it is what it is. You get what you get, but the thing is, you got to be around somebody long enough to know what you're getting. And personally, it's like sometimes I don't want the drama anymore. That kind of, if there's something going on that's it's great when it's great, but when it's bad, it's really bad, and they just love that yin and yang. Personally, I'm out. I
Yes.
don't. I've been there, done that, and and don't want to. There's too much. Life is just too damn short. Even though there's a lot of great stuff, it's like, so finding that person with that perfect balance to where you guys gel. There's another juggling act right there, or fiasco. Trying, especially dating in the older world. You're not hanging out in clubs and things like that, and you're trying to
Yeah.
find these people. And again, everything is great in the beginning, but the dating world, I know a lot of people that can't stand the thought about even dating and this and that. I don't know. To each their own. But so, if you want to choose to stay single, you can. But I just think it's harder as we get older because you get pickier.
Yeah, that's right. We do. That's why it's good to stay with one person, because you already know their shit and you can handle it. So it's best to work it out as you get older with that one person, because it matures into this thing called unconditional love. That means no matter what they do, you're like, I still love you. It's okay. It just moves into a better place.
Well,
It
there's
takes a while.
there's a great word right there, unconditional love. I mean,
Mhm.
I envy the people. I got a great handful of friends that have been together 25 years plus, and the love changes. But how you find that change and to make it grow and be bigger and better, or just as attractive, but in a whole different way, that's magic, and that doesn't happen a whole lot. And that's why it sucks, because everybody, including sometimes myself, because, well, I don't know yet now, because I'll, when I go the second round, I'll let you know. But to love that person even deeper in so many more ways than just the sexual or aesthetic version, or the, so long as we're having fun, we're great. But, when times get hard, you jump ship. You know what I mean? That thick and thin part. There's where the love grows, and that unconditional love. It's how do you get people to realize that?
How do you get people to realize what? Ask me that again. How do you get people to realize?
To jump back, the unconditional love, like, what drew you to them, what do you still like about them, and how you grow, because it was like this when you started, and now it's not this, it's that. Is it that bad? You know what I mean? It's like, how do you get people to discover?
I know what you're saying now. I just was trying to understand. There's almost like an aha moment. It's like an acceptance, like where things are so bad, you just realize that, like, he's never going to change. She is never going to change. I am never going to get her to do these other things ever. So I accept it. And women will get there when they want their husband to do, learn, just dance with me at a wedding. Just, why won't you go out to the clubs with me? Why do I always have to go out with my friends? And then they get used to going out with their friends. And then one day they're like, you don't have to go. I'm good. And then they enjoy their spouse for exactly who he is. When someone shows up in a certain way, believe them. That is who they are. Don't change them. Just enjoy them and accept them for who they are. Like a mother-in-law or a father-in-law, you're never going to be able to change them. That is who they are. Love and accept them no matter how crazy they are. That is what she got.
Okay, I get it. But do you think that a lot of people try to compromise, therefore, doing the compromise even though they're not, and then they become unhappy? Now it's like they're trying to compromise to accept the way that person is that doesn't want to be married anymore. Now they're compromising themselves, and now they're not happy. Do you get a lot of that?
Oh, so someone is not. So in my situation, when I'm coaching someone and the husband wants to leave and the wife is like, no, I want you to stay. She doesn't change for him. She changes herself to be just a better person, more understanding, more empathetic, listening. It's all about listening. If you really listen to someone, you can learn a lot. People don't listen anymore. They're just constantly something shiny. Nobody sees each other. No one really sees each other. And even my kids, they're young, they're always on their phones. They haven't learned that masterful art of seeing somebody and really taking that time to understand someone.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Nice one. Good.
I hear you. Okay, I hear you. But again, do you get those people who really try to be understanding, to listen, but they're actually really bending over backwards even when they don't want to, and eventually they're going, you know what, I'm trying to be understanding, but I'm not. It's bugging the shit out of me.
That's my day all day, texting women. I've been doing this for 4 months. It's not working. He's still over there with that lady and blah, blah, blah. And it takes 2 to 3 years. And in the meantime, I encourage them to date, to go out with friends, to get really close with their friends. If you have a couple people who are kind of friends, I want you to be best friends with them. I want you to have the greatest solid relationship. She would do anything for you. You would do anything for her. Girlfriends, they support you. And guys having guy friends, going out with them, just spending time with each other and getting really close really matters. And that is what carries you through the time of chaos with a spouse. But if you've invested 20, 30 years with one person and you're thinking about bailing, it's, that's a lot of time to start all over. When I always say there's not a lot out there compared to what you already have. You're not going to find better. Everyone's got shit in their backyard. and you're going to learn that shit, and it could be way worse than what you had.
No doubt about that. I mean, there is no doubt about that. I totally get that you don't know where that, again, we're back to the grass isn't really greener on the other side. I am a total, I confirm that a million times. I believe in it. You're jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. I know a lot of people like that too. They just have, and then you got people who have to have somebody around. And if they get somebody who's more interested in them for the moment, it feels good. It's like, it's a drug. It feels good. But again, you just got these people. So, there's a lot of people that don't want, like, I don't want you going out with them, and with your girls, because I don't like, when you do that and this and that. And then most people, when they get into relationships, they kind of cut back, and it's just kind of natural. I mean, I don't think anybody should ever just be, you need to have people in your life. I do. I always will. I know even when I was dating my ex-wife, I had all the friends that, she came, and they all became hers because they were mine. But, I bring my people into things like that because that's who I am. But not everybody's like that. A lot of people just recede, and then they stay home, and then it's just them. And they become recluses until it all blows up in their face, and then they got nobody.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens.
So, I mean, it's just, there's so many. This is more than a double-edged sword. I mean, it's a free will. Which way you're going to go? What are you going to? Lots of choice to for this. But I just wanted to see, what is it that you are trying to? I mean, how do you hold together people that can't be held together? Or what do you think your success rate is? Kind of.
If you stay with me and I coach you throughout this whole process, you'll get them home. It's my success rate's 100%. However, people who start working with me and they get to a certain place and they just give up and they go, I'm done. Screw him. I can't do this anymore. And they quit. And I can't stop them. So when people quit, that's on them. Or I have these women who they verbally abuse their husbands and will say nasty, mean things to them. And then they'll tell me about it. And I'm like, you said what? I told him, blah, blah. I'm like, we don't, I teach them not to do that. And they do. And then things keep going awry. And it's the chaos. They like the chaos. They are chaos providers. And they keep it going. And they're not going to change. No matter how much I, talk to them and guide them to the water, they're not going to drink it.
Look, where I come from, that kind of shit that you're talking about right now with the, keeping the chaos and all that, there's a word for it. I mean, where I come from. And I mean, basically they're just freaking crazy.
Yeah. And you've got to uncrazy yourself. You have to, if you're going to be in a relationship with someone, you can't behave like that. You can't negotiate with crazy. And if you want a marriage or relationship, you have to be able to negotiate.
If you're in a relationship and that long and she's like that, or, since you work with women all the time and they want to be the crazy side, then that ain't again, that ain't going to change. That is not going to I'm sorry. I don't think you can save them. Because if that's what they've been doing, that's who they are. And how the hell do you change them? Or don't tell me that you do.
I have.
Pinocchio, come on. I mean, if
people can change. I 100% believe that. I've talked to people who I have said to them, you're 65. I talked to people in their 70s. Whose husbands, they're married 40 years and suddenly he likes Susie, the next door neighbor. What? Susie's 27. What? How is this happening? It happens. So the wife is really mad and I teach her to let go of that anger. What are you mad at? He chose to walk out the door and go be with Susie, who's next door. Like, he's crazy. And leave his whole family and his children. Not your problem. And that's where I guide people to, and they follow me, and some stay on that, and some just go, I can't handle it. This doesn't make sense. Screw you. So it's a process.
Again, in my, my own theory, I, I love wild, but I don't love crazy. There's a difference. Fun loving. Even when you say, we do lots of crazy stuff, but getting crazy, which happens a lot, and all of a sudden that switch flips, and it's like, I don't know how you can fix that. I'm talking about, and there's a lot of people that they, both male and female, they can't help it. Now, I don't even want to get into narcissistic stuff. Do you deal with a lot of that? Well, then I do want to get.
No, I don't.
No.
I don't. Not the group. Not the left behind. They're not narcissistic, but they have spouses that might be, and there's still ways of working around it. Again, people don't just become narcissistic. They've always married someone. Well, guess what? You got a choice. I have girls who call me, their husbands cheated on them 10 times. And okay, you're not going to change him. If you want to be with this guy, he's going to cheat on you next year or the year after that. That's who he is. Why is he cheating on you? It's not her problem. She didn't make him that way. He grew up that way. It was programming. It happened between 0 and 12 years old. He learned these bad habits. Something's wrong with him and he's trying to make himself feel better. So he cheats all the time. Okay, you married a cheater. This is what you got. This is what you're going to have. And if you don't like it, divorce him.
Fair enough. I mean, for that whole thing, but I just, again, there's so many different variables and how you weed through them. And again, you work with a lot of women. I know there's a lot of men that have gotten sick from trying to stay married as well, because you got that certain type of crazy or again, narcissistic or, abusive, just bossy bitch, and the guy loves them so much that, yes, honey, whatever you want to do. And there's a lot of guys that I know a lot of guys that they're actually okay with that. Like, she wears the pants. And to me, it's like, hey, whatever works. If it works for you and because I got a lot of people that go, I don't know how the hell he puts up with that shit. He goes, that would drive me crazy. Go, he's not complaining. Leave him alone. You know what I mean? It's just
maybe he gets a lot of sex. Yeah, you don't know.
Oh, yeah. No, well, let's talk about that. I want the speaking of, because that's a very important part in a lot of people's lives. And so you get the woman that, like, she's just kind of falling off the ladder, whether she's going through, menopause or this and that. And the guy's like, because I had a friend of mine, and he's married 30 years. And I just had a little conversation because I hadn't seen him in a long time. I go, how you doing? He goes, my wife, she hasn't been well. She's got, heart issues and she's on a lot of medications, but she's kind of receding more and more and more. And he's going, we haven't had sex. And I can't remember how long. He told me a long time. He goes, I can't take it no more. I can't even talk to her. She doesn't want to even talk about this stuff. What do I do? So there's where it all goes downhill. I mean, he's not looking to cheat, but he's thinking about, separating and living someplace else. And, it's like, there it starts right there.
Yeah. So I get a lot of wives whose husbands have left because she didn't give him sex. And when I uncovered that, the first thing we do is apologize to him cheating over there, because when you don't give a man sex, it's like cutting off his air. If he wants sex and you say no, it's a deal breaker. That is your job. When you get married to somebody, you agree that you'll be the sex partner for the rest of your life till death do you part. And if you stop, that's not in the contract. You can't do that. And if you don't feel well, okay, find something else to do that works with your body if something's not working. Don't stop. Have that intimacy. Stay close. So when I get a wife who hasn't had sex with her husband in 5 years, oh no, we are writing a huge apology and we're going to give him a letter. We're going to speak it to him and see where we go from there. But you got to get past it. And a lot of them, when they leave, the women actually want to have sex again.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Then why did they stop having sex in the first place?
because they didn't feel they were connecting, because they were tired, because the kids were always in bed. There's all kinds of reasons. And then they get lazy. You know, there's a sex therapist out there. Women won't have sex for a while, and then they have sex, and then they go, that was really fun. We should do that more often. They forget. And if cobwebs grow and they're like, oh, it's not worth it. We're not worth the hassle. But when they do it, they go, oh, that was so much fun. So it's that routine. You have to keep doing it. And if you're not getting it anymore because somebody bailed, you get really horny fast.
I'm just saying, because if it becomes a chore for a woman to have sex, and there's guys too that fall off too, it goes both ways, but we're talking about this. And if it becomes a chore, like I got to do this, and then you're going like, I don't, because some people, their mindset changes, and what used to be good just doesn't appeal to them anymore. And that could change during the course of a relationship too. And then that sucks, because they may do it for a little while because you're telling them to do it, but they're just kind of, you can tell eventually it's like, okay, this is like, I know you're trying, but this is bullshit.
You have to work it out. There's ways of working it out. There's sex therapists. Go to Vegas. There's all kinds of people that can teach you how to do stuff. You just have to make an effort. Remember, we were talking about the banks that we don't want to invest in? Same thing. You have to invest time. People's bodies changes. Stuff doesn't work the way they used to. Well, now what? What do we do now? Let's go get fixed. Figure it out.
Hormones, all of it. I get it. Okay. I don't know.
Don't give up.
Well, I'm not giving up, but I mean, for these people, I just find that, again, especially for these that are married, and then you got some women that are really, as they get older, they get to be little, racehorses. And then the guy's having a hard time keeping up, or communication, I think, is a real big deal. It probably, even though you say, we communicate, a lot of times I think that's the biggest killer is communication with each other. Like, it's like you're kind of slacking off. I want more of this, or I want and nobody says anything about anything. And there starts the problem.
Yeah, that's true. People have to, it's a want. I want this. What do you want? I want this. Oh, can you give it to me? Maybe. Let's figure it out. People have to say what they want. If you don't open your mouth and say what you want, you're losing. If you don't open your mouth and say, what do you want? How can I give you what you want and need right now?
Fair enough. But I wish, sometimes I feel like it's easier said than done. And I swore, in my relationship that because of, I learned from even more in the past that communication was going to be the key. But when one shuts up and you just can't make one talk, and they just hold it all in, it just looks like a one-way, shouting argument, because you're just talking to the wall and the other one just kind of even more shuts down. So I don't know. There's so many variables in this stuff, but I'm glad that you do help the ones you do, because that's more than what was going on, prior to, and they would have been in the, just starting from the beginning again if they're lucky to start from the beginning. But listen, here's what's going on. Time has flown like that. Clock is exactly, and we are running out of time. I want everybody to know, if they want to get a hold of Laurie, this is your website, correct?
What? Oh yeah, thewifeexpert.com. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so if you want to find Laurie, you want to find out more about what she does, all you got to do is go to www.thewifeexpert.com. Your website is there. They can contact you, and it gives a little more description about what you do. Is that how it works?
Oh yeah. I have a whole video program. It's wonderful.
Would. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
lots of stuff.
Awesome. As always, I thank you for taking the time to come on this show. I knew time was going to go by quick. It always does. I mean, but you kind of brought a little bit different approach than a lot of the people I have, especially now during the holidays and things like that. If there's anything before you leave, I would really love if there's anything that you could just tell everybody, especially for the holidays, the gift to give themselves, or, to just take a minute and just speak into my 3 million and tell them what you feel about what you do and their lives.
So this Christmas, when you stand around the table and you see all the people that you're with, after dinner, take a few minutes and walk around to every single person and tell them why you like them and why you're grateful to know them and all the things that you feel make them special. If you are kind to someone and you tell that person why you like them, you've given them a gift that will compare to nothing else they'll ever get. That's one of my favorite things to do with people. And that goes like the rest of the year. Next year, when you meet when you're walking through Target and you see someone and you're like, wow, they look really happy. Say that to them. You look really happy. I like your smile. I like your shirt. Your hair is beautiful. Say positive things to people. If you see it, it will change your world because it comes back.
Comes back. I mean, who doesn't like to hear nice things? But okay. I mean, fair enough. Look, as you were saying, thanking people and things like that. Believe it or not, I'm getting ready to do a show where I'm going to be calling people and thanking them for all they've done for me through my life and things like that. Because I am grateful. I'm grateful for so many. But when you get into intimate relationships, it's a lot. It's tough. It's tighter. It's a different type of relationship, not just your friendships and your hangouts. I mean, people that are family or feel like family. It's a tough one. But
so can I say something else?
Sure.
When you look around the table and you look at all these people and you go, I don't like that about Uncle Joe and Aunt Sue. I can't stand that thing about her. Let it go. Let it go. Just accept them and love them for their shit because everyone's got it. Let it go. Don't let it bother you. And if someone starts fighting about something, find a way to calm it down. It's not worth it. Do you really want to spend your Christmas arguing? And if your loved one, the girl or boy you're closest to, starts behaving weird, just don't let it bother you. You can't control them. They can't control you. Just let them be. Let them live their life in chaos next to you. Be it like watching television.
How do you sit there, and we got to go. How do you sit there if they're living in chaos and it's your chaos too because you're connected to them? I mean, sometimes it's undoable.
It's not. It's not your chaos. It's theirs. We make it ours.
But
we take on the burden.
You're married to that chaos.
Yeah. So I could be with my husband in the living room and he could walk outside and run through the hall, the streets naked. I'd be like, oh, that looks cold. And I would shut the door. Not my problem.
You're a better woman than me.
Let people be, let people live. You want to do that? Good luck with you.
I believe in what you're saying to a certain extent, but when the chaos affects you, then anyway, again, we can talk about that stuff and go, he said, she said all night. We're going to have to leave it at that. Anybody wanting to get a hold of Laurie, the wife expert, there you go. www.lauriethewifeexpert. She will get a hold of you and she will talk to you and and I don't think you'll be challenging her nearly as much as I have tonight, just to make sure that we're on the same level here and what's going on. But I do thank you for coming on this show, and
you're wonderful, Peter.
Maybe down the road we will do this again as we have now. This is your second time on the show, so I appreciate you, and I really hope you have a great holiday. And again, I love your approach, and I wish I had a woman that, or hope to have a woman someday that is going to be as understanding as you and help me to understand as you, like you too, because again, it takes two.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Peter.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Last time, if you want to get a hold of Laurie, the wife expert, please look her up and give her a buzz. I'll talk to you soon, all right? Here we go. Bye-bye. All right. Laurie, the wife expert, right there. www.lauriethewifeexpert. She's got a lot of understanding in her. Not everybody does. And so she claims she can help you learn to be understanding, which I kind of get to. So if you want to get a hold of her, save your marriage, just don't blow up. I totally believe in not blowing up in every bump in the road because people, money, things like that. It's like, screw you, I quit. And it really should not be. You know, if you could redo it once the damage is done. But a lot of people, once the damage is done, the damage is done. And then they just say, oh, well, and then you're walking down that lonely road and in and out of divorce courts and all that. So give her a shot. You know, she's got a lot of common sense, but you never know until you try. So right there. Great show, as I thought it would be, getting through the holidays. Another piece of good advice from Laurie, the wife expert. I want to remind all you guys, don't forget to share the Peter G Show, Life of Peter G, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, God willing. And if you missed the show, catch it on demand. You can watch it anytime. There's 300 shows up there. There's something for everyone. Right now, we're focusing on relationships. Relationships mean a lot to me. They always do and always will. As I get older, I try to learn from my mistakes, as I hope we all do. But some people are just repeat offenders. So, and some people have not some people. A lot of people have nobody to talk to, and that's why we do this. So you can listen and understand. Hey, it's not only you, and you're not alone. So I hope this stuff helps you as we get closer to the Christmas holiday. I just want to remind you to check out the Peter G shows. There's all kinds of stuff out there. And again, if you can't watch the show, take the podcast on the road with you. Just go to Peter G Show Podcast, Google it, pick iTunes Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, Spotify. There's 21 different platforms. Just go. And that way, at least you're listening to something of worth. And that's important because you have a lot of choices in life. And I understand that, and I really do. And I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this show. I love what I do, and I hope it shows. We could do one good thing. That's one good thing more than what we did before we didn't do anything. So I love you for it, and please keep watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Let's show those people that you can't slow us down, all right? As always, time has flown, and we're going to be gone here in another minute, and life goes on. So I want to remind you to try and be kind. Life is a bitch, and it kind of gets to you. But you don't have to be an ass. You don't have to take a bunch of shit from people, you know, but you don't have to be an ass. So take a deep breath before you speak. Something I'm always learning more and more of these past few years. Take a deep breath and then speak. Hopefully that you'll not be sorry for what comes out of your mouth, because sometimes words do hurt, and they don't break bones, but they can do a lot of damage. And sometimes you go, why did I say that? So just think before you speak, and maybe it will change your life. My name is Peter G. I thank you for watching Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show. And as always, I love you guys. Peace out.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorce dad, single dad, divorce dad, single dad, Peter G Show.